Have you ever found yourself wondering why some women seem to effortlessly draw men in, keeping them hooked and fascinated? Is it their beauty, their confidence, or some mysterious quality that makes them irresistible? The truth is, it's none of these things alone. It's a deeper understanding of human nature, a mastery of psychological triggers that make men not just attracted to you, but addict to your presence. Now, here's where things get even more intriguing. Most women have been told the wrong things about how to attract men. Common advice says to be overly available, to cater to his every need, or to show endless excitement about everything he does. But this approach often backfires, leaving you feeling unappreciated and him taking you for granted. But what if I told you there's another way, a way rooted in Dark Stoic psychology that makes men crave your attention, value your time, and see you as someone they can't live without? This isn't about manipulation or playing cruel games. It's about using stoicism and reverse psychology to create a powerful, authentic connection that elevates your value in his eyes. Throughout this video, I'll reveal 6 transformative secrets that use the art of reverse psychology to make any man addicted to you. Imagine a dynamic where he's constantly thinking about you, eager to understand you, and deeply invested in building something meaningful with you. Doesn't that sound like the kind of connection you deserve? But let me warn you, these principles aren't for everyone. They require patience, self-awareness, and the confidence to prioritize your growth. Are you ready to step into your power and uncover what truly makes a man crave your presence? If so, stay with me until the end. The last secret is the ultimate key to turning the tables and becoming unforgettable in his life. 1. The power of ambition. Be a woman with purpose. Picture this. A man looks at you and sees someone who knows exactly what she wants in life. He admires the fire in your eyes, the determination in your stride, and the unapologetic way you pursue your dreams. It's magnetic, isn't it? But why does this work? What makes ambition such an irresistible trait? Here's the truth. Men are naturally drawn to women who have a sense of purpose. Why? Because ambition signals strength, independence, and a life filled with meaning. When you show that your goals come first, it doesn't push him away, it pulls him closer. He starts to see you not as someone who needs him to feel complete, but as someone whose life he wants to be a part of. But how do you embody this without coming across as cold or unavailable? The answer lies in balance. You don't need to neglect him or the relationship to prioritize your goals. Instead, let him witness your passion for what you do. Share your dreams, celebrate your achievements, and invite him to support your journey. This transparency creates respect and admiration, which are the foundations of a deep emotional connection. Think about the women you've seen who radiate self-confidence and ambition. They don't drop everything for a man. They stay true to their path. And because of that, their time becomes a valuable commodity. Men don't take them for granted because they know her world doesn't revolve around him. It revolves around her aspirations. Dark Stoic psychology plays a crucial role here. By practicing Stoicism, you learn to regulate your emotions and focus on your own growth, rather than seeking validation from external sources. This emotional control doesn't just make you more resilient, it makes you irresistibly attractive. When a man sees that your happiness doesn't depend on him, he starts to crave your attention even more. Now, let me ask you something. How often do you prioritize your dreams over fleeting pleasures? Have you ever put your goals on hold for someone else, only to feel unfulfilled in the end? This is your moment to reclaim your power. When you focus on building the life you want, everything else, love, respect, and admiration, will naturally follow. But don't just take my word for it. Think about the men who have truly fallen for someone. What do they say? They often talk about her passion, her drive, and how she inspires them to be better. That's the kind of woman you want to be, the one who leads by example and lights up the room with her purpose. Here's a tip. Next time you're with him, talk about something you're genuinely excited about, whether it's a career milestone, a personal project, or a new skill you're learning. Watch how his eyes light up when he sees your passion. It's not about bragging. It's about showing that you're a woman with a vision. And don't worry if he doesn't immediately understand your drive. The right man will admire your ambition, not feel threatened by it. If he does feel insecure, that's a sign he's not aligned with your growth. Remember, the goal isn't to shrink yourself to fit into someone else's world. It's to create a life so vibrant that he wants to be part of yours. As you embrace your ambition, you'll notice something incredible. The dynamic between you and him shifts. He stops seeing you as just another option and starts seeing you as a prize. Your time, energy, and attention become treasures he's willing to work for. And that, my friend, is how you make a man addicted to you. So, are you ready to step into your power and make your ambition the foundation of an irresistible connection? Let me know in the comments what dreams you're working toward right now. And stay tuned, because the next principle is all about keeping him on his toes with the art of unpredictability. 2. Master the art of controlled enthusiasm. Have you ever noticed how the thrill of a game lies in the uncertainty of winning? The moment it becomes predictable, the excitement fades. The same principle applies in attraction. Men are drawn to women who strike the perfect balance between showing interest and keeping them guessing. This art of controlled enthusiasm is one of the most subtle yet powerful tools in reverse psychology. Imagine this. You're meeting him for a date. You smile warmly, you're engaged in the conversation, but you don't go overboard. You're happy to see him, but you don't fawn over every word he says. Instead, you maintain an air of mystery. Your emotions are measured, not cold, but composed. This balance creates an intoxicating allure. He starts to wonder, what's on her mind? Does she like me as much as I like her? Why does this work? It's simple. Men love a challenge. When you're overly excited or too readily available, you inadvertently send a message that he doesn't need to work for your attention. But when you maintain a calm, composed demeanor, you signal confidence, and confidence is irresistible. Controlled enthusiasm taps into a psychological phenomenon known as scarcity. When something feels hard to attain, it automatically becomes more desirable. By showing just enough interest to keep the connection alive but holding back a little, you create a sense of intrigue. It's like a beautifully wrapped gift. He's eager to unwrap it, but the layers of mystery make it all the more exciting. Now, you might wonder, how do I strike this balance without coming across as disinterested? The key lies in authenticity. You don't need to play games or pretend to be aloof. Instead, focus on regulating your emotions. When you're genuinely happy to see him, let that shine through, but in a way that feels natural and controlled. Here's a tip. When he tells a story or shares an achievement, show interest by asking thoughtful questions rather than showering him with excessive praise. For instance, instead of saying, "Wow, you're amazing," try, "That's really impressive." What inspired you to do that? This subtle shift shows that you're engaged without being overly eager, keeping the conversation meaningful and balanced. Controlled enthusiasm also allows you to maintain your emotional independence. You're showing him that while you enjoy his company, your happiness doesn't hinge entirely on him. This ties back to Stoicism, a cornerstone of Dark Stoic Psychology. By managing your emotional responses and staying grounded, you project an inner strength that captivates him. Let's talk about how this looks in real life. Picture him texting you a sweet message. Instead of replying instantly with an overexcited response, take a moment, smile, then craft a reply that's warm but leaves room for curiosity. For example, if he says, "I can't stop thinking about you," respond with something playful like, "Oh really? What's on your mind?" This keeps the conversation light, engaging and open-ended, leaving him eager to share more. Controlled enthusiasm also applies when you're spending time together. Whether it's a romantic dinner or a casual hangout, avoid giving away too much emotional energy. Let him wonder about your thoughts, your feelings, and your level of investment. This doesn't mean being distant, it means being intentional. When he does something kind or thoughtful, acknowledge it with gratitude, but don't overdo it. Let him see that your appreciation is earned, not automatic. Now, let me ask you, have you ever felt like you were trying too hard to impress someone, only to feel unappreciated in return? This is your chance to flip the script. By mastering the art of controlled enthusiasm, you're not just protecting your energy, you're creating a dynamic where he values every moment he spends with you. Here's the magic of this approach. Every time you show genuine, measured interest, it feels like a reward. And because your reactions are thoughtful and deliberate, he starts to treasure those moments. You become the woman he looks forward to seeing, talking to, and learning more about. If you've been nodding along, thinking about how you can incorporate this into your interactions, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Tell me in the comments. How do you balance showing interest while keeping a man intrigued? And don't forget to hit the like button if you're finding these insights helpful. Your support means the world to me. Stay tuned, because the next principle will teach you how to keep him constantly guessing with the art of unpredictability. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Let's keep unlocking the secrets to making him addicted to you. 3. Be unpredictable. Keep him guessing. Why is it that we're drawn to puzzles, mysteries, and the thrill of the unknown? It's because unpredictability sparks curiosity, keeps us engaged, and makes us crave answers. The same principle applies to attraction. If a man feels like he has you all figured out, the excitement begins to wane. But when you're unpredictable, when you keep him guessing, he finds himself constantly intrigued, always thinking about you, and eager to uncover more. Predictability is where interest goes to die. Think about it. When you know every twist and turn of a story, it loses its magic. In relationships, being too predictable has the same effect. If he knows exactly how you'll respond to every text, every situation, or every interaction, there's no mystery. The spark fades. But when you introduce an element of surprise, when your actions don't follow a predictable pattern, you tap into the psychology of desire and make him addicted to the idea of figuring you out. Here's how you can master this. First, break free from routines. If you always respond to his texts immediately, try waiting a little longer occasionally, not out of pettiness, but to show that your time is valuable and your life doesn't revolve around him. If you always say yes to his plans, surprise him by suggesting something new or saying no because you have other commitments. This doesn't mean being difficult or uncooperative. It's about showing that you have your own rhythm and priorities. Unpredictability also involves creating emotional highs and lows, but in a way that's playful and intentional. For example, imagine you've had a warm, affectionate conversation with him. Instead of immediately extending it or overwhelming him with continued attention, step back a little. Let him miss you. This ebb and flow creates an emotional roller coaster that keeps him hooked. Why does this work? Because it taps into the psychological principle of reward and uncertainty. Think of a slot machine. It's the unpredictability of the reward that keeps people pulling the lever. In this case, you're the reward. Sometimes you're fully present, showering him with attention, and other times you're focused on your own life, creating a momentary distance. This inconsistency keeps him craving your attention and thinking about when he'll have it next. But don't mistake this for playing mind games. The goal isn't to confuse or frustrate him, it's to keep the dynamic fresh and exciting. Men are wired to pursue, to solve, to conquer. When you're unpredictable, you give him something to pursue. He starts to see you not as a predictable figure in his life, but as someone who constantly surprises and fascinates him. Let's bring this to life with an example. Say he's used to you always texting him goodnight. One evening, don't. Instead, send him a thoughtful message the next morning, like, "Hope you had sweet dreams. What's your day looking like?" That slight shift in routine makes him think about you before bed and again when he wakes up. He's intrigued. He's wondering, why didn't she message last night? What's on her mind? Another way to incorporate unpredictability is through your shared experiences. If he expects you to follow a certain pattern, like always going to the same restaurant or engaging in the same activities, mix it up. Plan something unexpected, like a spontaneous road trip or an unusual date idea. This sense of adventure keeps the relationship dynamic and ensures he never takes you for granted. Unpredictability also applies to your emotions. This doesn't mean being erratic or moody, but rather showing different sides of yourself. Maybe one day you're playful and teasing, and the next you're introspective and thoughtful. This range of emotions keeps him invested as he discovers more layers to your personality. He starts to realize that you're not just one-dimensional, you're a multifaceted woman who continually surprises him. A powerful tool here is to remain slightly elusive about your feelings. When he asks, "What do you think about us?" instead of giving a straightforward answer, respond with something intriguing like, "I think we're writing an interesting story, don't you?" This leaves room for curiosity and keeps him engaged in figuring out where he stands with you. Dark Stoic Psychology comes into play here as well. By practicing emotional control and unpredictability, you maintain your power and create a dynamic where he feels drawn to you without fully understanding why. This blend of intrigue and control is a potent combination that keeps his mind on you long after your interactions. Think about this. When was the last time you did something unexpected that left him pleasantly surprised? If it's been a while, now is the time to shake things up. Remember, the goal is to create a connection that feels fresh, exciting, and full of possibilities. When you master the art of unpredictability, you become a woman he can't stop thinking about, a puzzle he's eager to solve. And while this strategy builds intrigue, it also builds respect. By showing him that you're not easily predictable or entirely accessible, you establish boundaries and showcase your value. He starts to see you as someone worth pursuing, someone he's willing to put in the effort for. Unpredictability isn't about playing games, it's about keeping the magic alive. It's about creating a dynamic that's exciting, engaging, and endlessly intriguing. So, keep him guessing, keep him curious, and watch as his fascination with you grows. 4. Create emotional dependency through selective support. Have you ever wondered why some people leave an unforgettable mark on others? It's often because they become a source of emotional security, a rock in the storm, a refuge in difficult times. Men, despite their exterior toughness, crave this connection as much as anyone else. But here's the key. Creating emotional dependency isn't about always being there for him. It's about being there selectively, on your terms, in a way that makes your presence irreplaceable. Let's dive deeper. Emotional dependency doesn't mean he's reliant on you for everything. Instead, it's about building a unique bond that makes him see you as the person who understands him like no one else. You become the one he turns to when life feels overwhelming, the one who taps into his inner world with empathy and insight. But the power lies in being strategic about when and how you offer this emotional support. Imagine this scenario. He's had a tough day, and he opens up about it. Instead of immediately rushing in with solutions or overwhelming sympathy, you listen, truly listen. You ask thoughtful questions that show you care without smothering him. What's been weighing on your mind? Or how do you think you'll approach that tomorrow? These simple yet profound inquiries let him know you're paying attention, but you're also giving him the space to process his feelings. This selective approach builds trust and dependency in subtle but powerful ways. He begins to associate you with clarity, strength, and understanding, qualities that are rare and deeply valued. Over time, he starts to crave your input, your perspective, and your ability to ground him when life feels chaotic. But here's the catch. You can't give too much too often. If you're always available, always ready to soothe and solve, your value diminishes. Think of it like water in the desert. Its scarcity makes it precious. By offering your support selectively, you create a dynamic where he cherishes the moments you're there for him, instead of taking them for granted. There's also a psychological component at play here. When you're not always accessible, it triggers a sense of urgency and appreciation. He knows that your time and emotional energy are not endless resources, and this realization makes him work harder to earn them. This is where Stoicism, as part of Dark Stoic Psychology, comes into play. By staying grounded and in control of your emotions, you project an inner strength that he can't help but admire. Selective support also reinforces your independence. You're showing him that while you care deeply, your world doesn't revolve around his problems. This balance is crucial. Men are naturally drawn to women who can stand on their own, even as they provide the emotional depth he craves. Here's an important aspect to remember. Creating emotional dependency is not about manipulation. It's about fostering a connection that feels authentic and mutual. You're not trying to control him, you're building a space where he feels safe to be vulnerable, while still respecting your boundaries. To bring this principle to life, think about the times he's opened up to you. Did you truly listen? Or were you quick to jump in with advice? Did you give him space to express himself? Or did you unintentionally overshadow his feelings with your own? Reflecting on these moments can help you fine-tune your approach and strengthen the bond between you. This principle is also about understanding his fears and insecurities, those parts of him he doesn't readily share with others. When you tap into this deeper level, you become more than just someone he enjoys spending time with. You become the person he feels truly understood by, and that's a rare and powerful connection. Think about how you respond when he needs you. Do you show up selectively, offering your presence as a valuable gift? Or do you overextend yourself, draining your energy and leaving him feeling overwhelmed? The art of selective support lies in finding that perfect balance where he feels your care without losing sight of your individuality. When done right, this dynamic creates a magnetic pull. He starts to associate you with a sense of peace and clarity, and he begins to seek out your presence more and more. But because you're selective, every interaction feels meaningful and impactful. You're not just another voice in his life. You're the voice that matters. Over time, this emotional dependency grows, not out of neediness, but out of deep respect and appreciation. He sees you as his anchor, his confidante, and his equal. And in a world full of surface-level connections, this kind of bond is what truly sets you apart. By creating emotional dependency through selective support, you're not just building a relationship, you're building a connection that lasts. You're showing him that while you're strong and independent, you're also someone who offers unparalleled depth and understanding. This balance is what makes you unforgettable. So the next time he turns to you, remember, your presence is a gift, not a given. Be there for him in ways that matter, but always on your terms. That's how you create a connection he can't walk away from, and a bond that makes him addicted to you. 5. Leverage absence to create desire. Have you ever heard the saying, "Absence makes the heart grow fonder"? There's a deep psychological truth to this phrase, and when used correctly, it can make a man value your presence in ways you never imagined. But here's the catch. It's not just about disappearing. It's about strategically using absence to create desire, appreciation, and an undeniable pull toward you. Think about it. When something is always available, it often becomes less exciting. The novelty fades and we start to take it for granted. But when that same thing becomes less accessible, suddenly its value skyrockets. This is the principle of scarcity, and it's a powerful tool in attraction. So, how do you create this effect without resorting to games or manipulation? The key lies in timing and intention. Strategic absence isn't about ghosting him or causing unnecessary anxiety. It's about creating moments where he feels your absence and starts to realize just how much he misses your presence. For example, if you're always the first to text, call, or make plans, take a step back. Give him the opportunity to initiate. If he's used to you being readily available, your sudden lack of immediacy will catch his attention. He'll start to wonder what you're up to, why you're not as responsive, and most importantly, how he can get your focus back. This isn't about playing hard to get, it's about showing him that your time is precious. By taking moments to focus on yourself, whether it's pursuing a passion, spending time with friends, or simply enjoying some solitude, you send a powerful message. You're a woman who values her independence, and that independence makes you even more attractive. But let's talk about the psychological mechanics at play here. When you're not constantly available, you trigger something called loss aversion. This principle suggests that people are more motivated by the fear of losing something than by the desire to gain something of equal value. By temporarily stepping back, you create a void that makes him feel the potential loss of you in his life. And that void? It makes your presence all the more precious when you return. For instance, imagine you've been consistently spending time with him. Then, for a few days, you become less available, not in a cold or distant way, but simply because you're busy with your own life. When you do reconnect, he'll likely notice how much he's missed you. Your absence makes him appreciate the energy, warmth, and joy you bring into his world. Timing is everything here. If you disappear for too long, it could come across as disinterest. But if you step back just enough to create intrigue, you'll find that his desire to be close to you intensifies. He'll start making more of an effort, initiating conversations, and seeking out ways to spend time with you. Here's a tip. When you reappear after a period of absence, make your return impactful. Share something exciting you've been working on or a story from an experience you had while you were away. This not only keeps the connection fresh, but also reinforces the idea that your life is full and vibrant, even when he's not around. This approach also aligns beautifully with Stoicism, which teaches us to focus on what we can control, our own actions and emotions. By embracing periods of absence, you're demonstrating emotional self-control and confidence. You're showing him that while you value the connection, you're not dependent on it for your happiness. This independence is intoxicating and makes him view you as someone truly unique. Think about it. Have you ever missed someone so much that the moment they came back into your life felt like a burst of joy? That's the feeling you're creating. By giving him space to feel your absence, you're setting the stage for a deeper, more meaningful connection when you're together. Let me ask you this. Do you ever feel like you're overextending yourself to stay in someone's orbit? What if, instead of always chasing connection, you allowed them to come to you? This subtle shift in approach can change everything. It puts you in a position of strength and allows the relationship to unfold naturally, with him making the effort to keep you close. If this idea resonates with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever tried creating a little space in your interactions? How did it change the dynamic? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious to hear your experiences. And if you're finding value in these insights, don't forget to hit that like button. It lets me know this is resonating with you, and it helps spread these empowering strategies to more women who want to take control of their relationships. Stay tuned, because the next principle takes things to another level. It's about projecting confidence and calm, no matter the circumstances. You'll learn how to avoid jealousy and insecurity, transforming the way he sees and values you. You won't want to miss it. 6. Stay unshaken. Avoid jealousy and insecurity. Confidence is magnetic. It has a way of drawing people in, commanding respect, and leaving a lasting impression. But the moment jealousy or insecurity creeps in, that magnetic pull begins to fade. Why? Because jealousy signals fear, and fear undermines the strength and composure that make you irresistible. Men, like anyone, are attracted to stability. When you're confident and secure, you project an aura of self-worth that tells him you're not easily shaken. This is a cornerstone of Stoicism, mastering your emotions, not letting them master you. By staying calm and unbothered, especially in situations where jealousy could arise, you set yourself apart as someone who is truly self-assured. Now, let's paint a picture. You're out together, and another woman strikes up a conversation with him. Your instinct might be to feel a pang of jealousy, to question his loyalty, or to insert yourself into the situation. But imagine this instead. You stay composed, confident, and even smile to yourself. You trust your value and know that whatever attention he gives to someone else doesn't diminish what he feels for you. This calm response is a powerful statement. It says, "I know my worth, and I don't need to compete for attention." Why is this so effective? Because insecurity often pushes people away, while confidence pulls them closer. When you show that you're unaffected by potential competition, it shifts the dynamic. He sees you as someone who isn't desperate for validation, and that independence is incredibly appealing. Avoiding jealousy doesn't mean ignoring your feelings. It's natural to feel a twinge of discomfort when you perceive a threat. The difference lies in how you handle those emotions. Instead of reacting impulsively, take a moment to reflect. Ask yourself, does this situation truly threaten my connection with him? Or is it just my fear speaking? By approaching these moments with clarity, you maintain your composure and avoid unnecessary conflict. There's also a psychological principle at play here, reactance. When someone feels their freedom is being restricted, they're more likely to rebel. If you react to his interactions with other women by trying to control or limit them, you inadvertently push him away. But when you show confidence and trust, you give him the freedom to choose. And paradoxically, this freedom often makes him choose you. Think of it like this. When you're secure in your value, you don't need to prove it. Your calm demeanor speaks volumes. You become the woman who doesn't just turn heads but keeps his attention because he knows you're not easily shaken by outside forces. Let's take this concept further. Imagine you're at a party together, and he's engaged in a lively conversation with someone else. Instead of hovering or watching his every move, you enjoy yourself, talk to others, laugh and genuinely have a good time. When he looks your way, and trust me, he will, he'll see a woman who's confident, social, and in control of her emotions. That image stays with him, reinforcing the idea that you're someone worth valuing. This approach also strengthens your position in the relationship. By avoiding jealousy, you demonstrate emotional maturity. He'll see you as a partner who's not only self-assured but also trusting. This trust becomes the foundation for a deeper, more meaningful connection. But what if you're struggling with insecurity? How do you build the confidence to stay unshaken? Start by focusing on your strengths and accomplishments. Remind yourself of what makes you unique and valuable. Surround yourself with people and activities that uplift you, and practice self-care. When you feel good about yourself, you're less likely to be affected by external factors. Dark Stoic Psychology emphasizes the importance of inner resilience. By mastering your emotions, you free yourself from the need for constant reassurance. This emotional independence is not only liberating but also incredibly attractive. A man will respect and admire you when he sees that you don't let insecurities dictate your actions. Remember, the goal isn't to suppress your feelings but to channel them in a way that serves you. If something truly bothers you, address it calmly and thoughtfully. Instead of accusing or blaming, express how you feel in a way that invites understanding rather than defensiveness. For example, I noticed you were talking to her for a while, and it made me feel a little unsure. Can we talk about it? This kind of communication shows vulnerability without compromising your confidence. Ultimately, staying unshaken isn't about ignoring the challenges in a relationship. It's about rising above them with grace and composure. It's about trusting yourself and the connection you've built. When you embody this level of confidence, you become unforgettable. You're not just a fleeting infatuation, you're the woman he admires, respects, and wants to keep by his side. By avoiding jealousy and insecurity, you position yourself as someone who's grounded, confident, and undeniably attractive. You become the calm in the storm, the steady presence he can't help but gravitate toward. And that, more than anything, is what makes him addicted to you. So, here we are at the end of this journey. You've unlocked 6 transformative principles that can make any man addicted to you, not through games or manipulation, but by embracing your confidence, independence, and emotional strength. Let's take a moment to reflect on everything we've covered. Each of these principles is grounded in Dark Stoic Psychology, a blend of timeless wisdom and psychological insight. Together, they form a powerful toolkit for building connections that aren't just fleeting but deeply meaningful. But remember, these strategies aren't about controlling someone else, they're about mastering yourself. They're about understanding your worth and stepping into your power as a woman who knows what she brings to the table. By practicing stoicism and emotional awareness, you create a dynamic where he sees you as the rare and extraordinary person you are. Now it's your turn to take action. Look at your current relationships or the ones you hope to build. How can you integrate these principles into your interactions? What shifts can you make to show your independence, confidence, and value? And as you embark on this journey, remember, the ultimate goal isn't just to make someone addicted to you. It's to create a connection that's rooted in mutual respect, admiration, and authenticity. When you lead with strength and self-assurance, you don't just attract him, you inspire him. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into reverse psychology and the art of it. If these insights resonated with you, share your thoughts in the comments. Let me know which principle you're excited to try or how you've used these ideas in the past. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more powerful strategies to enhance your relationships and personal growth. Your support means everything, and it helps spread these empowering messages to even more women ready to embrace their inner strength. Here's to building connections that are magnetic, meaningful, and unforgettable. Thank you for being here, and I wish you all the confidence and clarity as you step into your power. Until next time.